Good afternoon, everyone. It's June 20th, 2019. So this video is going to be a multi-topic kind of deal here. I skipped a couple of days or a day. I didn't really cover any of the news items during those 2 days. So I'm going to go ahead and knock some of them out here. I've read some of the articles and skimmed the others, so I kind of got a handle on what the deal is. And by the way, Keith Raniere of the NXIVM sex cult was found guilty on all counts. All counts. However, the politicians linked to him, i.e. the Clintons, among others, kind of no one's really asking questions about their involvement in this NXIVM sex cult. I wonder why that is. But nothing says freedom like the feds going to a festival, specifically the Burning Man festival, and drug testing every single person attending. Doesn't that sound like freedom to you? Now, I know a lot of Christians out there and conservatives, Republican types, really hate the things that go on at the Burning Man festival. It's a kind of a pagan deal, right? Except that in this country, we're supposed to have the freedom to practice any religion we wish. I mean, Muslims get to practice their Sharia shit in certain neighborhoods in this country, right? Jews get to practice their religion. Christians, more and more are being restricted. But historically, they've enjoyed, being the dominant religion in our country. And they were free to practice their religion. Well, pagans have festivals that they take mushrooms and have orgies. And again, I'm not a nasty person, so I'd never participate in an orgy. I would drop some acid though. I would eat some mushrooms. Why not? Go there, have some fun, check out all the naked chicks walking around. Why not? But, like everything else, the government's ruining that festival too. I mean, as long as you're a drag queen, right? As long as you're a drag queen influencing children, you can pretty much do as you please. But if you're not one of these types, then and Christian pastors will get gunned down protesting your drag queen activities. Or arrested. I believe it was arrested. But these people are presumed guilty before anything has happened. Isn't that the opposite of what we're supposed to be? And that pretty much goes for anybody who gets arrested. If you get arrested and you cannot not afford bail, you're presumed guilty because you're in that orange jumpsuit. You're in the shackles and cuffs. And believe it or not, it makes a big difference whether you're in your own clothes or in that jumpsuit and chains. It does. Cop flips his lid, attacks and falsely arrests man for saying the ground is wet. And any more of these guys are blowing their tops quicker and quicker. I've been fortunate, personally, at least down here where I live. I haven't had too many really terrible contacts with cops here. I've had some shitty ones, don't get me wrong, but overall, they have not flipped their lids. They have not, you know, assaulted me or anything. And so I've been fortunate, but there's a lot of people out there who are not so fortunate. Just look at the guy that got gunned down in that motel hallway, and he was straight up obeying everything the cop told him to do, and he still got shot. Cops scared of a 87-year-old grandma cutting flowers, they taser her in the breast. Isn't that nice of them? Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? They keep on victimizing all these elderly people. Seems to be a lot of women, too. Wonder why that is. Wonder what's up with that. Disgraced vice president of Walt Disney, or of Disney, convicted of child rape. He gets 6 years, and man, he should have got a lot more than that. Just think about this. And I'm not big on prisons, okay? I'm not big on sending people to prison. It doesn't do any good. It doesn't. If you send a guy that moves drugs to prison for a couple of years, during that couple of years, he's going to master his craft. He's going to gain many more connections. And when he gets out, he will be in a situation, especially if he's not a snitch. He will be in a situation where, you know, he went to drug moving college. And he'll be far, far better at his job than he was before he went to prison. And that same logic applies across the board with all the crimes. Burglars, armed robbers. Child molesters don't do very well in prison, and they kind of stick to it with each other, if you will, and they still get targeted big time. So sending people to prison, it's just putting them in college for their crime. And this guy, he's probably super rich. He gets 6 years in prison. Do you know how much of that time he's actually going to have to serve? Well, if he gets a little prison job there, he'll get day for day. Every day he does, he'll get a day knocked off. And if he goes through other programs, then that turns into more. So he won't do hardly any of his 6 years. And he'll be free to repeat harming a child again. And by the way, this child, or these children, they have to live with what happens to them for their entire lives, which can span to, 80, 90 years old. And they still have to live with that shit. Regardless of how old you get, you don't forget about it. You don't. It haunts you and haunts you and haunts you. Let me see, what's it say? Oh, yeah. Cops fail at window tint stop after man calls them out for being above the law. And not too many people are going to get away with this. Not too many people will get away with calling them out and then not being dragged to jail. And when my home got raided in 2016, I treated them that way simply because I knew I was going to jail either way. And the cop, he had the Second Amendment tattooed on his arm, right? One of the main guys. And I was like, well, you have part of the Constitution tattooed on your arm, but you don't follow it. You enforce unconstitutional laws. You're a hypocrite. They didn't like that very much. But this happened in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I'm just going to hit the first paragraph right quick here. If you ever think that all traffic laws are for your safety, one thing can change that view: window tint. In the land of the free, if police feel that your window tint is too dark, they will claim the right to extort money from you. And sometimes they just flat out damage your car. They'll take a key or something to your tint. It's happened to me. If you resist this extortion, police will claim the right to kidnap or kill you. Unfortunately, in the land of the free, these instances happen so frequently that they are often caught on video too. While many of the instances over window tint, the Free Thought Project reports on, and badly, the following case has a far better outcome. The kid just told them about themselves. I guess I'll go ahead and read what they said, because my piece of shit computer, the storage is so full that it runs slow, and as a result, I can't play video on it while I'm recording a video. That really sucks, but I need an external hard drive badly. Okay, so the cops say, "We're stopping you today for your window tint," the identified officer dressed in plainclothes says. "They're pulling me over for window tint," Armstrong says before calling out their hypocrisy. Look at his tint. Armstrong then zooms in on the unmarked police car, which has the entire front window tinted so dark you cannot even see the dashboard. And a lot of them do. And by the way, another law they break all the time is they're supposed to have a clear marking on their car identifying them as police. Okay, not undercover guys, obviously, but the beat cops, right? And a lot of these cars now are coming out charcoal gray with this lettering that you can only see if light hits it a certain way. They're breaking the law by having these cars. Just saying. He then proceeds to call the officers out for their hypocrisy, noting that they think they're above the law. His tint is the same darkness as mine, and he's pulling me over for it, like he's above the law, Armstrong, he says in the video. The law applies to everybody, correct? He adds. The officer then asks Armstrong if he has a tint exemption, to which Armstrong answers, "No, I don't have a tint exemption, do you?" The officer says they do, but then fails to produce it. The stop, which started over claims of dark tint, then turns into a fishing expedition as cops detain Armstrong for over 10 minutes, trying their damnedest to find something on this innocent man. But he stood his ground, knowing full well he had no warrants and nothing that cops could hold him on. So, good for him. He ended up walking away with no citations. But they do believe they are above the law, and they believe it's their job to keep the slaves in check. And the few people who actually join the police forces, to make a difference, as I stated in my last video, end up being disgusted by what they see. A lot of them, if they have any kind of compassion. And one last one here for this website. Oh, damn it, my computer's not cooperative. I'm going to have to get that external hard drive real soon. So, court forces child rape survivor to allow her rapist to visit children she had out of rape. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice of them? I mean, for crying out loud. This woman kept the children, or child, and maybe more than one. Alright, we'll see here. Imagine being raped repeatedly since you were a small child, eventually hitting puberty, which allows the rapist to then impregnate you. Imagine that you then keep these children, okay, it's more than one, and raising them as your own after escaping your rapist. Then imagine that this monster wants to see these children that are produced out of his rape. Then imagine the state not only allows it, but forces you to allow him to see the kids or face jail. Sounds like a nightmare, correct? Well, for a rape survivor in Alabama, this is her reality. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice of the courts to force her to see her rapist over and over again? Jessica, whose last name will not be mentioned to protect the identity of her children, says Alabama's laws have forced her to face the man who raped her repeatedly since she was a child. Well, not only that, but isn't there a danger to those kids of being raped too? I mean, isn't that a real danger? According to Jessica, she was repeatedly raped as a child by her mother's half-brother for years. She says, well, it all started when I was 12 or 13 years old, and he started climbing in my bed at night, she told KVOE. Sadly, because many police departments are more interested in busting people for marijuana and other illegal substances, than they are in arresting rapists. There's no money in arresting rapists, that's why. Jessica's abuser was never convicted. This was in spite of DNA evidence that proved her claims. The rapes were so frequent that starting from the time she could have children, she did. At just 14 years old, Jessica became pregnant and miscarried. Then at 16, she had her first baby boy. Well, he's not going to rape the baby boy. I can tell you that with pretty good certainty. At 18, she had another baby who died shortly after birth from a disease that is common among cases of incest. At 19, she had her youngest son. Jessica is now 32, and she is forced to face her abuser regularly and allow him to see her children. I literally just felt like I didn't have any options, she said. Yep, that's about it. So, this is justice. This is what the state sees as right. I'm just saying. I mean, do you really want people like this in control of your life? Really? Alright, so here I am at SHTF Plan once again. New research, young people are growing bone spur horns from smartphone use. Australian researchers have found odd bone spurs growing out of the skulls of young people. These horns are said to be due to the increasing use of smartphones. Isn't that nice? Isn't that wonderful? Tell me in the comment section, if you make it this far into the video, did you think when you were young that you would be running around with a computer that could fit in your pocket, that can serve multiple functions, and did you ever think that it might cause you to get brain cancer or any other number of things that these things can do to you, scramble your DNA? Did you think that that was going to happen? I had no idea. I had no idea that when I was 20 that I would have a little pocket computer. Even though I am a computer technician, I was back then even, I never thought it would get to that point. I thought maybe, we'll have the flip phones for a while, and we did, and that was about it. I thought that's where it'd probably stay, but I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. Jeffrey Gunwatch. I'm not even sure Trump's going to run. The infamous Bond King, Jeffrey Gunwatch, I think I'm saying that right, says he thinks it's not only possible that President Donald Trump will drop out of the presidential race, but that he may not even run. He says it will all depend on the economy. Yeah. And if it tanks before the 2020 election, Trump won't even bother trying to win. And again, it's been my contention all along since the start of his administration that he was chosen to be the president for that very reason, to tank the economy. You might recall some of the older interviews with him, and where he said he identified more as a Democrat than a Republican. He also said that if he ran, he would run as a Republican because Republicans are stupid. He said that. And people still voted for him. Guess he was right. I guess they're stupid. Budget talks stall as politicians reach impasse over spending cuts and debt ceiling. And this is more theater. They've already destroyed the economy. They've already destroyed this country, and why not just keep doing it? It's already done. One of the most threatening issues facing the United States today is the government's massive debt. Instead of figuring out how to fix the problem, politicians want to spend more money selling future generations into slavery to do so, just like we were sold into slavery. You think you own your body? No. You're collateral. You're collateral. Iran shoots down U.S. drone, says it's ready for war. And we have more saber rattling coming from Washington. And by the way, I saw an article, and I'm not sure where it was. If I were, I would have it pulled up. I will be looking for it again. Where Donald Trump's talking about 9/11. And I got to do a video on this because, well, he basically tried to pin the whole thing on Arabs. So, but Iran shot down a U.S. drone. Now, why would Iran have a problem with one of our drones in their airspace? Why would they not want our beloved government not to have their drone there? I can't think of any good reason. But tensions between the U.S. and Iran flared on Thursday when the Iranian Revolutionary Guard shot down an American drone that was said to have flown into Iranian airspace. The U.S. claims the drone flew over international territory. I don't believe that. They lied too much. Then again, Iran lies too. The drone was reportedly flying over the Strait of Hormuz, that critical choke point for the global oil trade, not far from where the two oil tankers were recently attacked. Attacked. So, they're going to keep pushing until they get their war. Ron Paul warns medical IDs are the enemy of privacy, liberty, and health. Last week, the House of Representatives voted in favor of a Labor, Health, and Human Services and Education Appropriations Bill amendment to repeat the prohibition on the use of federal funds to create a unique patient identifier. Unless this prohibition, which I originally sponsored in 1998, is reinstated, the federal government will have the authority to assign every American a medical ID. And once that authority is taken, it's never untaken. China has raised tariffs on the U.S. and cut duties on goods from other countries. China's going to really fucking stick it to us as hard as they can. And by the way, it's not the government that's going to be, shouldering all of the burden from this. It's you and I. It's anybody that goes and gets gas. It's anybody who goes and buys groceries. The poor and middle class will be ravaged by Donald Trump's decisions. But then again, maybe that was the point. I covered the deaths of despair in my previous video, which I'm waiting for it to process. Prepare for cost increases. Americans warn prices will jump. The Retail Industry Leaders Association in a retail trade group is warning Americans to prepare themselves for a price increase on items such as phones, car seats, and toys. Well, thank God my children don't do the toys anymore. The goods that would be impacted the most are those with the highest share of sourcing from China. And it makes sense. So basically anything in Walmart is going to jump up. And pretty much every other big department store like Target and whatnot. This will be my last one for this video. We're going on a half hour here. Russian Foreign Intel Chief, the U.S. dollar is becoming toxic. Search for alternatives. And if they are, so should you. Gold, silver, don't know about cryptocurrency, although I do kick myself in the balls every time I think of the money I didn't make because I didn't buy Bitcoin back in 2011. So anything that can replace the dollar. You don't want to be caught holding these things when shit hits the fan. You may want some cash on hand at first before the stores stop taking it, but after that it's going to be worthless. And we're almost there, people. We're almost there. So anyway, I thought I would hit the things I hit here. If you like my content, please do thumbs up, subscribe, maybe share. And if I'm worthy of your spare dollars, PayPal links below. You want to chat with like-minded people, there are 2 Discord links below as well. Hope everyone has a good one. Till next time, kill the state, live free.